Welcome in to the Main Event Sports Show. It's Main Event Sports TV Live. It's going down 1105 South 1st Street, Tornville Deli and Pizza with Sean Myers, Haven Harrington, a cast of thousands here. Come on out. We're serving wings. We're serving pizza. We're serving drinks. It's going down tonight. Shout out to all our people checking us out live here on Facebook Live. And you know what, Haven? I'm going to cut right to the chase. Ain't no time to be messing around. Ain't no time for jokes. We're not going to talk about, anybody walking down the street. We're not talking about cars driving by. We're not talking about, what happened this week. I only want to talk about one thing.
We can't talk about the cars drive by with the booming system?
Definitely not.
All right.
Not tonight. I want to talk about the University of Louisville football team, man.
The beak with teeth. The
you know what? I don't even want to talk about the football. I want to talk about one man.
Robert Montgomery Petrino.
Bobby Ewing, a.k.a. Bobby Petrino.
Man, okay, look. Go ahead.
Let's rewind. First of all, let's rewind. University of Louisville comes off an energetic night of basketball, introducing Chris Mack, the basketball team. Everybody's excited. Everybody's happy. Louisville Live was outstanding. Awesome job by the folks there at the 4th Street Live for putting that on. Amazing event. Had a great time with that. Come out Saturday, University of Louisville football team taking on the most hated Florida State Seminoles. Great game plan. Juwan Pass comes out, throwing some nice touchdown passes. On fire, 21-7.
Louisville scores their first offensive points in the first half of the year. When they put up 21 points.
In the first half.
Against Florida State. 21 points. Going to halftime leading 21-7. Got a great running game. Hassan Hall averaging over 4 yards a carry.
Everything was going right.
Averaging over 4 yards a carry.
Jalen Smith finally woke up.
Catching passes.
Des Fitzpatrick finally woke up. It was like everything that the Louisville fans have been hoping for and looking for.
Everything Bobby said was going to happen.
They look like that for the first 2 quarters. Okay? Going to halftime.
I got a drink on this one. Go ahead.
Take your sip. Going to halftime. Juwan Pass comes out in the second half and becomes very erratic throwing the football. Throwing high, throwing wide, throwing, bouncing passes to people.
In his defense, Florida State did increase the amount of pressure that they were getting on him.
Well, what's the formula when you're facing a young quarterback? If he's beating, if he's killing his own,
you blitz and pressure him.
You got to put pressure into his face. Florida State came out, put a lot of pressure into Pass's face. They got him rattled. But University of Louisville, the defense continued, to make plays. And Florida State, a team with, as much 5-star talent as Louisville's ever recruited in their history, probably on this one team.
You can say that.
Comes back. And this is a team in Willie Taggart. They're in their first year, and they're having to go through some growing pains. Okay, and they came out. They had a much better effort last week against Northern Illinois, and they did what a team with good talent is supposed to do. They made a run. Okay, but that being said, the University of Louisville made the plays. Absolutely, there was some busting coverage. They converted some fourth downs, converted some third downs, made some big plays. You have to give credit where credit's due.
But the defense still played well enough to win, even though the offense completely, I'm not going to say complete sputter. The offense moved the ball.
Yes.
But when they got inside, for some reason, Florida State's 35, they just self-destructed with sacks. Juwan Pass, I believe, on the same series, missed 2 wide open crossing routes in the end zone. That would have been easy touchdowns.
Yeah, he missed Jalen Smith for one that was wide open. He missed Tutu Atwell on one that was wide open. It was definitely not
series. First down, second down.
It was tough because it was right there. The deep post pattern was open. The offensive line did a great job of giving Juwan time to pass the ball, and when he was able to get time, especially in that first half, he was able to make the Seminoles pay. Not so much in the second half. Okay, but regardless of all that, the defense did enough to be able to keep that lead. Okay,
they gave up 21 points.
Florida State scores the touchdown, brings it to within 3. Okay?
Louisville's up 21-24.
Yes, 21-24 with about 6.5 minutes left to go.
Louisville's driving the ball.
They needed a drive. They needed Jawan Pass to fulfill the destiny that he was brought here with. The reason why they called that young man Puma.
Trey Smith running the ball hard.
Trey Smith, great plays. Bobby Petrino, great play calling. When they needed to make conversions on third down, they made conversions on third down. Continued to put first downs together, Haven, running the clock down to 2 minutes after an outstanding play-action fake, throwing to Mickey Crum for the first down. Okay, University of Louisville gets the ball inside the 15 with the clock running. 2:04 left.
And Florida State only has two
timeouts left.
Only two.
So, Haven, why don't you just walk everybody through what happens next?
Well, what should have happened was...
No. I didn't say what should have happened. I want to know what happened.
They went to the Mickey Crum well maybe once too often. Bobby knew they was going to blitz. It was going to bring pressure. He said this on his press conference.
Yes.
They brought the pressure. Puma goes back to pass, tries to throw a nice little out route to Mickey Crum, and the DB jumps the route, intercepts the ball. Momentum completely shifts.
2 minutes left, clock running. Still about 18 to 20 seconds on the play clock. So literally could have run the play clock down to around 1:42 before they would have had to snap that ball. Okay? Clock running, as you said, Florida State only 2 timeouts. But inexplicably, the University of Louisville rushes up to the line, hurries up and snaps the ball, and the most amazing thing happens. They call a pass play. Jawan Pass misreads the route from the receiver. I don't know what he saw.
What happened is the DB knew that they was going to throw that route because that's like the third time Louisville ran that play that game.
Yes.
So he knew it was about to happen. He jumped the route, intercepts the ball. Florida State gets the ball. The first 2 passes, I think they gained a little bit. Then they hit like a slant route.
65 yards.
He breaks the tackle.
To the house.
He's gone.
And Louisville goes from up 3 with 2 minutes left with the ball inside the 15 in the red zone to down. And unfortunately, coming back the other way with about a minute left.
Plenty of time.
Yes. Jawan Pass takes an inexplicable sack on first down. Then does not complete on his next 3 passes. And at the end of the day, University of Louisville goes home, losers
with L
in a game that had everything that it needed. The fans were excited. The recruits that were on campus were excited. Everything was going your way. The team played good enough to win after looking very lackluster the last 3 games versus Indiana State, Western Kentucky, and Virginia.
Dominated FSU the first half of the game. You won time of possession. You won the third down battle. Statistically,
yes,
you had more offense. The only thing that Louisville did not do, this was the first time Francois has not been sacked by a Power 5 school all year.
Yes, but I will give Louisville credit because they had consistent pressure.
They gave him some pressure. They didn't sack him.
They didn't sack him, but they did get consistent pressure, and I give credit to Francois and those receivers. They made some plays. And you know what, Florida State, as they continue to get more comfortable with Taggart's system, I expect for them to play better as the season goes along. They have too much talent not to. I mean, so I give Florida State credit for coming back, but at the end of the day, Louisville should have won the game because what you do there is, okay, and even kids playing the John Madden football,
Madden 1-on-1,
you know that you get the ball inside 2 minutes and your opponent only has 2 timeouts left.
Warner.
You run the football. You make the team burn their timeouts.
When you're averaging over 4 yards, when both your running backs are averaging 4 yards per carry.
And the Florida State defense looks gassed. They look tired. Louisville had converted on third down at least 4 times on that drive. They had the time of possession for over 4 minutes on that drive. And everything is going your way. Everything is set up after a very nice play call on third down to just run the football. And Bobby Petrino, once again, when you get into short clock time management situation, wets the bed. So now, I'm not going to talk about Louisville. I give credit to the players. I give credit to Jawan Pass. I give credit to their defense. They came out and played their tails off with their season on the line.
But
Bobby Petrino, you locked me out of your Twitter inside of like 2 months of being on campus. Me and you have not been friends.
He like everybody was Twitter.
You know,
Any media person is like still friends.
You locked me off your Twitter, even though I think you follow me on some burner accounts, but that's for another story for another day. You come out there and you make a decision and you lose the game for everybody else. This was not on any of the staff. This was not on any of the players. Everybody can talk about Juwan Pass missing some passes. They talk about opportunities they didn't take advantage of. At the end of the day, Haven, they were in a position to win the game. If you run the ball 3 times there.
Well, according to ESPN, they had like a 99.8% chance to win the game.
Game should have been over. Game should have been over. Florida State should have got the ball back with about 25 to 30 seconds left and no timeouts, down 6, needing a touchdown. And at that point, you play prevent, you tackle.
With the ball on 25.
Exactly. Game's over. Game's over. Okay? So this was on by Petrino. You had one opportunity to gain back that momentum that you've lost over an absolutely embarrassing season. You didn't get it done. And to me, brother, I'm going to tell you this right now. You are playing for your job on Friday night versus Georgia Tech.
Really?
Absolutely.
Really?
Bobby Petrino is playing for his job. You lose against Georgia Tech because what happened on this Florida State game, Haven, was the difference between Louisville having an opportunity to get to 6 wins with a quote-unquote upset over Kentucky the last game of the season, if they could get that win. But now, with that loss to Florida State, I don't see any way that can happen. And if Bobby Petrino loses this game to Georgia Tech on Friday versus this funky team with this, double wing option, crazy, funky, no huddle offense, Louisville's looking at 3 wins, 3 or 4 wins tops.
Well, here's the thing.
At that point,
Van Gorder is an expert defending against this type of defense. So I'm not worried about that. Okay, I'm lying.
I was going to say,
I'm lying.
Where'd you get that information from?
I'm lying. I am worried about that. I know Van Gorder, he was brought in, Kirby Smart brought him in just as a consultant just to help Kirby defend against Georgia Tech.
Yes.
So he's a pretty good expert on how to defend against what Georgia Tech wants to do on offense with their triple spread option.
Yes.
But however, and we did see progress.
We did see progress.
A lot of progress from the offense in the first half.
But at the end of the day, what's Louisville's record right now, Haven?
Okay, Louisville's right now with 2-3.
2-3 versus by far the easiest stretch of the whole season.
Yes, these stretch. So now, if Louisville wins, let's say Louisville wins, they beat Georgia Tech. Louisville's 3-3. Maybe NC State. Maybe Wake Forest.
The NC State that dog walked, the Virginia team that dog walked Louisville.
But I don't see other wins. Honestly, NC State, Wake Forest, Clemson is like name your score. Kentucky is going to run all over us. Unless if Benny Snell's healthy and AJ Rose is healthy, and the offensive line is healthy, Kentucky's going to beat us like running mule.
I'm telling you this.
So Louisville maybe beat Wake Forest. But you're looking about a 4-win season.
Louisville has Wake Forest at home, NC State at home. That's the only 2 winnable games to me outside of this Georgia Tech game. This Georgia Tech game is a 50-50, and it's going to take Louisville to come out and their defense to play well. Because this Georgia Tech team, this no-huddle, speed-based option is very difficult to defend.
Well, the problem is, they're going to hold the ball. And Bobby wants to get the ball as much as possible in his offensive hands. If he doesn't get the ball in his offense hands and his offense is scoring, he tends to panic and press. So Louisville's going to have to come out hot like they did against Florida State and score and put a lot of pressure on that triple option. But Louisville doesn't have the best run defense going against a running team.
And this is the problem. Georgia Tech is not your mama's option team. They're not like the Nebraska of the mid-'90s. They're not a team that's trying to play possession and win 14-0. They're trying to win games like 42-24. They have a speed-based option. They're trying to get up there, up and down to get points. The most points Louisville's put up all year was versus Division II Indiana State, and that was 31 points. And that's what worries me.
7 of those came on a kickoff return.
So literally 28 points against Indiana State. And I don't know if 28 points is enough to beat Georgia Tech, Haven. And that's what worries me. I mean, that right there.
I mean, here's the thing.
Especially on short, you have one less day to prepare. The game is on a Friday night. And coming off an emotional loss like this has all the signs of a game that can get out of hand if things don't go well early.
Well, here's the thing. Like, even with this little, I'm usually pretty good at watching the team for 1 or 2 weeks and can pretty much get a good feel and handle on the team.
Yes.
And let you know how they're going to do the rest of the season. From watching this Louisville team, I have no idea what to expect. Yes, they did get better, but right now Louisville is still playing Louisville has yet to play a full game of football. They had a good offensive half, better than what they had before, and then they wet the bed the second half. But you saw that, for most of the season they wet the bed the first half and they played pretty decent in the second half. This game they flip-flopped and played well in the first half but couldn't score in the second half. So I really don't know Louisville team.
There were opportunities there, but Juwan Pass said after the game that he was dealing with some cramping issues and some other issues, which had a lot to do with his erratic passing in the second half.
Which makes handing the ball off, which is why they run the ball more.
Right. I mean, Bobby Petrino knows that. He knows his quarterback's been off. There was literally no reason. You could have taken a knee 3 times and won the game. So
you could have ran it 4 times.
I mean, right now you're talking about a Louisville team, like I said, that if they don't beat this Georgia Tech team, they're not even going to get to 5 wins. My man Keno Stoner was checking in, and Keno said, is Louisville going to get to 6 wins? I don't see it. Like, when I look at the schedule right now, when you talk about the games upcoming, if you don't beat Georgia Tech, you go on the road at Boston College. That's a loss. Home versus Wake Forest. Maybe. At Clemson, that's a loss. At Syracuse, that's a loss. And home versus Kentucky looks like that's pretty much a guaranteed loss. At that point, you only have 3 opportunities for wins. That's only 5 wins if you get all 3 of those 50-50 games.
Yeah.
And 5 and 7 is not good enough to keep your job. So I'm here to tell you, once again, Bobby Petrino, you are coaching for your job on Friday night. Because if you beat Georgia Tech, maybe you can find a way to upset Syracuse. You're going to need 2 upsets now, basically. You're going to have to go on the road and beat somebody. And after getting destroyed on the road by Syracuse, I don't know how likely that looks. But to me, Haven, I think it's time for Bobby to go. I'm just going to put it out there. I don't see any way for him to get to 500. To me, being 500 is the only way he keeps his job. Maybe if he gets to 5 and 7, maybe in the most optimistic. But when your highlight in your 5 years of being the coach at Louisville is having the greatest offensive weapon in the history of college football in Lamar Jackson, and the best you do is to lose your last 3 games in his Heisman season, losing to Kentucky in your final game, and then last year a very blah 8-5 season where you lose and get destroyed by a terrible Mississippi State team in a bowl game, it's not good enough.
Business losing too.
If your name is anything else than Bobby Petrino, they would already have your bags packed. You don't deserve to have the job, and you're going to have to pull this one out of the fire, in my opinion.
At $4 million a year, you expect a lot more than this.
Absolutely. Louisville did not hire Bobby Petrino.
Here's the thing about Bobby. Bobby's supposed to be an offensive genius.
Yes.
So you think when you hire Bobby, even the defense sucks, you're going to score points.
Yes.
That's like hiring Charlie Strong and having a 100-ranked defense. You don't hire Charlie Strong thinking the defense is going to suck.
Absolutely.
Offense can suck, yes. We expect that. We expect a marginal. Oh, by the way, Charlie Strong's undefeated at South Florida at the moment. But anyway, you expect him to have an awesome defense and good enough offense to get by.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's what you pay for. You know what you're getting. With Bobby, you expect to get a really good offense, a top 10 offense.
Bobby Petrino, in 5 years, Bobby Petrino's had a good offense for 6 games?
2 games. Yeah.
No, not even season. 6 games. The Lamar Jackson, the 6 games that won Lamar his Heisman.
The first 6 of the season.
Are the only great offensive. The only guy, I'll take that back because last year Louisville's offense was really good, but they didn't get a lot of opportunities because the defense was so bad. But the only time where Louisville's offense looked elite was that year with Lamar.
Here's the thing, though. But if you take out those 2 Lamar Jackson years and look at the other 3 years on Bobby's tenure, his offense has sucked.
It's terrible.
His offense has been terrible. The first year you can say, well, Strong didn't leave you anything. Strong really recruiting the offense, so you can blame it on Charlie Strong. But like I said before, you had offensive line may not been what you wanted to be, but 2 guys offensive line are still playing in the NFL right now.
Keno said, we are 2-3 and haven't played a good team yet. And he's absolutely right. I mean, if this Florida State team, while I understand they're going to get better, this is probably the worst Florida State team in the last 50 years, maybe. Yeah. And Virginia's not any good. They played a Division II team, and they played Western Kentucky, who's not any good. So, I mean, you played Alabama. Yeah, you did play Alabama. But other than that, you played 4 garbage cans.
No, here's the thing. You struggled against Indiana State, who did win a game last year.
Yes.
Who still hasn't won a game.
Yes.
You struggled against a Western.
Should have lost to Western Kentucky.
You should have lost to Western. If Western coach, when he gets the ball on the 1, just runs it 3 times, Louisville lose that game. Louisville's down 21-7, and we ain't coming back.
Absolutely.
So you should have lost to Western, but you pulled that out. You got destroyed by Virginia, and
you blew your opportunity.
You blew opportunity against Florida State. This is not looking good.
I mean, if his name was not Bobby Petrino, would he still be like? Would he even still have any type of hope of having his job?
Bobby has burned. I believe Bobby has now burned all the goodwill and all those chips that he had built up from his first time here. People remember that how dominant the offense was, and I think people still kind of cling to that hope he can get back to that. But
if you get blown out by Kentucky in your last game and you end up with 3 or 4 wins for the season, how do you keep your job?
You don't. At that point, you don't. You don't.
I mean, and that's the way I look at it. If you lose the last 2 times that you play Kentucky at home, you lose with Lamar in his Heisman season, and you lose this year in blowout fashion. And trust me when I tell you, the fact that Kentucky is doing very well matters.
13th in the nation.
It matters.
And they earned it. They earned that 13th.
People are looking at Kentucky. They're watching Kentucky win. That absolutely matters. Bobby Petrino, you are on pink slip watch. You're going to be down there 6 and Cedar with everybody else that's trying to look for a job. This is where we're going to see Bobby Petrino.
Honestly, if Bobby gets fired,
who's going to hire him? Maybe some high school in Idaho?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, but what I can see, I have no idea even what's going to happen with Bobby. But Bobby, he has to figure a way to pull this out. Maybe his brother gets fired because his brother is on thin ice with Idaho, and maybe bring Paul back as offense coordinator to try and help out the last 3 games.
Hey, where PRP?
But I know it does. At this point, it doesn't look good.
I mean,
it is on pink slip watch. And don't let Jeff Brom keep winning, because the fans want Jeff Brom. Don't let Jeff keep winning at Purdue. Don't let it happen. They dominated Boston College. They won against last week. If he figures it out, he has a better recruiting class already than Louisville's recruiting class.
Yeah, Jeff Brom started out 0-3 and started out a little rough, but he's absolutely looked a ton better the last several weeks. So, yeah, the Jeff Brom train is absolutely starting to pick up steam right now.
He could take a talent like Rondell
Moore.
Rondell Moore.
From Trinity.
And knows how to use that talent.
Yes.
Like Bobby used to feed the studs.
And you know what I don't want to hear? All these people that continue to say, you know what, if you fire Bobby Petrino, who are you going to get that's better than him? Let me tell you something. That dude that was Bobby Petrino that used to be good is not the Bobby Petrino now. Like, I don't know who this dude is. Like, this is Yeoman Jenkins or something. This is not Bobby Petrino. So, like, yeah, if this was Bobby 1.0 or even Arkansas Bobby, then maybe you would have an argument. But this is not the same dude. Like, everybody's still trying to hold on to this nostalgia.
Even West Kentucky Bobby.
No. It just doesn't. He's not doing good enough. And if he doesn't get together, I'm telling you, pink slip watch is Friday. You lose that game, you're fired.
Lose, leave town.
You're fired.
This is the lose, leave town match.
Let's keep it real. The Main Event Sports Show, the reason why we're the world's most dangerous sports show is because we don't miss words and we don't half step.
We're not sugarcoating nothing.
Nothing. You're on pink slip watch. If you lose Friday, don't even come back to the locker room.
Hey, If you disagree with us, let us know in the comments below. Like the video, please subscribe, and thanks for tuning in to Main Event Sports Live and all those on Facebook.
That's right. We'll be back,
Love
y'all.
you, baby. We'll be back. Main Event Sports Show.